Well, that's what it kind of seems what he's doing right now.
Of course.
Which I'm going, Maron doesn't need to do that, though. Maron's already really respected and huge. It just seems weird that he's
maybe it's
going on tours of different podcasts.
The same thing happens in rap. People say 50 Cent name, and if 50 responds, that person will get the most press they ever had.
50, by the way, is one of the most entertaining followers on Instagram.
He fucking trolls everybody.
He's so fucking funny,
to 50
dude.
and Eminem, everybody. But the whole thing is what they do is they troll because now you got a guy that never was on TMZ. 50 just dissed him. Now he's on TMZ. Now you got a guy that's never had no interviews on Pods. Now you're on Pods. If you talk about an Eminem, a 50 Cent,
and they respond,
a Joe Rogan, and they respond,
they put you on.
Press for you.
And there is a lot of that. But here's my thing, though. I'm going, Marc Maron doesn't really need to do that, and it does seem like that's what he's doing.
Well, he's hating shit about Joe Rogan recently. What was that guy's name? The Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, the same thing with Jeselnik.
Yeah, he's talking wild shit about Rogan.
I can get it. I mean, like, I'll be the guy who defends Maron.
Please.
And
I'm a fan of Maron.
Right.
I've hung out with Maron before, a handful of times, not many times.
I feel like
but I really liked him. I really liked Maron.
Yeah.
We did Goddamn Comedy Jam together.
Yeah.
He was so good. He fucking played guitar and sang. I was excited.
Listen, we're not, what they call in the rap game is glazing. We're not glazing Joe Rogan.
No, I get it.
Look, we're saying he's good at what he does, right?
He's created an ecosystem for
clickbait is clickbait.
Right. But I think
clickbait, listen, clickbait is clickbait. Motherfuckers talk about me for no reason. Motherfucker could make up a story right now about me that's totally fake and go semi-viral. Do probably 9,000 views, maybe 5,000 views.
But that's
right. Chill out. But if I answer it back, I'm going to give them more views if they're nobody. So what he's doing, why I say it's rage baiting, is because you have no reason to talk about this man. And you're just talking about this man because you know it's going to get you traction.
I disagree. Let me tell you why. And I agree with you. I agree and disagree. I think if you're someone who's wanting to bit their podcast,
you have some fucking balls.
Yes?
Tony,
I'm so sorry.
Whatever you're saying, I
don't know why I'm getting so passionate right now. I apologize. I didn't actually.
No.
It's just counterpoint. It's conversation.
Cool, I'm your counterpoint.
No, well, the thing is with Maron and Jeselnik, these guys are comedy. They love. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt is that they love comedy. And if I'm going to be honest, I don't think Rogan is great at comedy, like stand-up comedy. And let's be honest.
We not look. We not.
Let me finish.
Let me just say one thing. Not
I
to
think
cut
Rogan's
you off.
a genius. And,
Look,
I think the mothership is incredible.
That's what I'm saying. Is he's saying he's giving you the mothership experience. I went to the first time to the mothership in Austin, like a couple of weeks ago. Tony Hitchcock.
I'm talking pure stand-up. You think Rogan is top guy pure stand-up? So let me finish what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
Right. So you look at Rogan. He's not a pure great comic that I would be like, oh, I love. He's whatever. And I would argue that if Rogan only had comedians on his podcast, no one would have problems. But Rogan has had people on his podcast. Now I could fall into this, right? He has people on his podcast who you hear them and you go, oh, I believe what that person's saying. But a lot of times they're fucking spreading a lot of bullshit. So I think a lot of people get on that and they go, yeah, man, this guy's put a lot of people in the zeitgeist who, no offense, man, come on, fucking, what's the guy from InfoWars? Dave Smith, come on, right? You know what I mean? So, Alex Jones. You have people on here doing this shit, right? So I think I get the anger going that way. And then you look at his stand-up and you go, someone with that kind of power, it just isn't that great of a comic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, you can't put that guy up
I feel like
Louis.
when you on top, the hate always comes. Yeah. I don't care who you are, rapper.
Of course, but not from Maron or
I feel like your hate is going to always come when you on top.
Of course.
I would also Rogan.
The point about Rogan, here's the thing, ready? So comedy is extremely subjective. I've watched Rogan level of fucking right? That's hard to do, period. So to say, it's not like Rogan stinks in comedy.
I didn't say he stinks.
Flying Monkeys in Space was one of my favorite specials coming up. That was a fucking incredible special. He was really, really smart. He was also doing very heady, well thought out comedy when people weren't really doing that. When Dane Cook was on top, Rogan was talking about crazy shit, right? So to each his own, it's not even really the issue. I mean, I understand the idea of platforming people that have different opinions, but it's like, I don't know, you're listening to a comic talk shit with another person. If you're taking that as absolute truth, that's kind of on you. The reality is Maron had Obama on, who was an actual fucking war criminal, who did fucking bomb Syria and murder children all over the world. They're all criminals, every fucking president. So what are we pretending that one is better than the other? The difference is Obama had a more more decorum. He held himself with more respect, and I appreciated that because he represented this country. But the reality is, these are all fucking pieces of shit. Let's get real. And to put Obama on, it's just as bad as putting Trump on. Let's get fucking real. That was what was going on while he was sitting fucking president. This is a guy who literally children around the world. These are criminals. So this is every politician in the history of our lives and our parents' lives are fucking war criminals and pieces of shit.
So let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
So when I look for that interview, right? Say Shannon goes look for that interview. What do you think it's going to say on the lines? It's not going to say anything else about the interview. It's going to say that he said something about Joe Rogan.
Of course,
do you
it's why
agree
we're
that or
talking
not?
about it.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's rage bait and clickbait. You know that a person is going to check that even more because he said something about Joe Rogan. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not 100% disagreeing with you, but I do think that maybe he is trying to push back, and he knows he gets something from that, but it's not like completely manufactured. I think he does believe the things he's saying.
It's just weird that Maron, who is widely respected, is making it a point that after he ends his podcast too, that's the thing that he talks about on every show.
Joe Rogan.
The same thing happened with Jeselnik. He had a special to promote, right? And it just seems I'm disappointed in those guys because the reality is I'm an old school comedy fan, right? So I have this thing, and maybe it's the same thing in hip hop. I don't know, but like if you're in it with me. You're in it with me. I don't care if you're a fucking open micer. I don't care if you're a pro that's been doing it for 30 years. There's a camaraderie because we all started from one place. We all got up on that stage for the first time for the same exact reason. Our friends told us we were funny. We saw comedy somewhere and we went like, I want to fucking try that. And for me, that's enough. Like you're my fucking brother because of that. If I was at a comedy club and somebody was fucking with a comic that I didn't know, I'd step up and fucking say something.
That's you. You love the sport.
I love the sport.
Other people are not like that. Some people are haters.
This is the point. It's like I'm disappointed that Jeselnik and Maron are sort of making it their initiative to go after a guy who created an ecosystem that maybe you don't agree with his politics or maybe you don't agree with the people that he's always pushing and putting on, but he created an opportunity for a lot of guys that wouldn't. He's the new Tonight or the new Johnny Carson, right? And we're talking about guys like me who, like, before I had anything going on, he was like, "Yeah, dude, come on the show. I'm going to promote your special because you do it. You do it just like I did it, right?" And he didn't know my politics. He didn't know anything that I had to say about the world. He just said, "Yeah, dude, come on and promote your special because you're friends with some of my friends, and apparently you're a funny guy, and I want to push funny people out there." And he's had plenty of people that are on the left, plenty of people on the right. Scientists, politicians. He stays
super diverse. Yeah,
super diverse. Yes, he has the Alex Joneses.
Right.
Yes, he has the Dave Smiths. Yes, he has the guys that are a little more right leaning and maybe a little more radical.
Yeah, but
you want to hear those voices too. Don't you want to get a different perspective in the world?
So here's the thing.
So Maron wasn't having those guys on though.
So I'd argue this, right? Now here's the thing. I want to also say I have really. I'm not standing on this mountain. Just somehow I got in here. But like my whole thing with Rogan is, man. You need a fact checker, a real fact checker on that podcast with you, because if I had Alex Jones on, like I talk to someone about Israel, I go, I'm Team Israel. Then someone goes Palestine, I go, fuck, I'm that now. My mind changes immediately. But if I had that much money, I'd be like, all right, I need someone here sitting with me who's literally fact checking all of this stuff.
Kind of, but we're free flowing, right? So we talk shit, right? We talk. Hold on, we talk shit about. We talk shit. If you feel like a podcast and the information on a podcast is dangerous, the problem is people shouldn't be fucking listening to a podcast as the truth.
But I do. I 100%.
You should be listening to a podcast for entertainment, and that's very often what it is. We were talking about a fucking big rubber ball smacking into a guy's head. We're like, I think it's 400 pounds. You don't think it's 400 pounds?
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
No.
All right, because sometimes when he's saying, you know, I want the facts. I'm just trying to figure out like, why do you?
I don't
care?
really want the facts.
Me either. Like when I watch an interview, I'm not looking for just the facts.
I don't want the facts.
I want to be entertained
on this podcast. But when I used to be a Rogan, I still like Rogan. When I used to listen to Rogan and he had on like these experts, I just trust that they're the experts, and then I would listen to other people be like, oh no, that guy was wildly wrong about that. And I'm like,
but then that's a difference in opinion, and you're listening.
It's not opinion.
Yeah, but
if you're having an expert.
Well, listen, every expert has their own doctrine that I think that they're going to try and draw from, and everybody has. That's why you have peer review. So when you're peer reviewing things, people go back and forth, and you have difference. He's got Randall Carlson and all these guys that are kind of, people say it's pseudoscience and stuff like that, and they get offended. But to Lewis's point, it's so broad, and he's done more for comedy, I feel, in the past 5 years than
he's done more for comedy than anybody in history.
He built the comedy mothership in Austin because everything that happened in LA when everything shut down, he just made, feel like a mecca, and then he kind of catapulted.
Well, New York is the mecca. Let's not get
Well,
crazy.
yeah, but I'm saying as it is right now, I think what Joe does is he gives this.
So they got into it on Real Ass Podcast over the whole Joe Rogan versus Marc Maron thing. Tony Yayo is now in the Rogansphere world. When did this crossover happen? I don't know, but I like it. I like the fact that Yayo. This is the second time. Is Yayo just like a regular with the Legion of Skanks guys now? I dig it. I really do dig it. But the battle back and forth, Marc Maron and Joe Rogan. Now, of course, Lewis is going to be on Joe Rogan's side. When Yayo say, we're not glazing Rogan, they are right in the aspect of the reason why Marc Maron did attack Joe Rogan. He did do it to make his special bigger and all that stuff. Now, that doesn't take away from the validity of what Marc Maron said, but they are right for the reason why Marc Maron attacked Joe Rogan. Now, the problem Maron is going to have going forward, I don't think he really cares, though, is that there will absolutely be a split within the comedy community amongst the comedians over this. The problem is the vast majority of the comedians are going to side with Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan will be the only one who can do something for the vast majority of comedians. Marc Maron's not opening a club or put, like they even said there, or putting lots of comedians on his podcast or anything like that. So none of that's going to be happening. And going forward, Mark just stopped doing his podcast. And I mean, he responds now, but he goes on other people's podcasts. He doesn't even like jump on Instagram or anything to do it, which is odd to me. But I mean, the fact that these guys got into that heated argument though over it, I enjoyed it. The Legion of Skanks fans, some of them didn't like it. I think the vast majority of them did though. But I don't know. I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts in the comments? Who do you agree with? Luis J. Gomez or the other guy or Tony Yayo? Tony Yayo. Are we going to get 50 Cent on here? Is that going to happen at any point? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.